Okay, so this next one is something I picked up from one of my instructors at some point. And it's, I mean, in various places, right? Like it's a common thing to do. But it's writing, I'm going to call it phrases instead of licks. I just don't like how licks sounds. But it's writing phrases with conditions. So you have parameters that you set for yourself. And so for me, I am trying to build connection across 4 bars, even if there's 6 chords. It's just something I've been working on that I want to try to add more fluency to my lines where they don't seem so disconnected, but they have very distinct phrase endings so that I can take a breath. I still want to focus on harmony, but I also want to draw from, so one thing I mentioned was looking at existing solos and trying to piece out like how they've brought them together and what are the elements there. One thing I noticed with Clifford Brown, and it's really interesting, it was very consistent in the song Night of Tunisia, is that he uses the middle of a bar when there's 2 chords to emphasize how that harmony shifts. But when there's 1 chord in 1 bar, he actually is very specific at putting a chord tone on the start of the bar or very shortly after. So I used those 2 rules to formulate what I'm going to call the foundation of connecting the dots. And I am just going to call this connecting the dots because I'm not really, it is kind of voice leading, it is kind of target notes, but the important part is the 3-note part that emphasizes a chord tone for the purposes of the A7 one there where I go D, B, C sharp, that emphasizes that chord tone kind of hitting and staying in that measure. And then it's a similar exercise, but instead of thinking about just the end, you're thinking about where you're starting as well. So in the B half diminished 7 going to the E7 flat 9, you're going A, C, B. So you're connecting the 2 chord tones between those 2 chords in the middle of the bar. And then for the A7, you're really doing a enclosure to emphasize what's going on with your sort of a recentered harmony for that longer period. Anyway, so that, I'll probably butcher this, but it kind of sounds like this. I'll try to do a couple of simple ones to start, and then might make it more complicated. Yeah, so I still need to work on that, but I like how the harmony is generally connecting. I feel like the resolution for those dominant chords can happen a little bit earlier. And one thing that kind of throws it off is it doesn't just end on a G minor 7 in the actual form that I'm moving. It goes to the D7 flat 9, which is supposed to go to the G minor, not the B half diminished 7. Anyway, I'll keep working on that. And probably a couple others, but I like both of these so far.